Chapter 2, Biological Classification of Class 11. Here we'll be discussing MCQs given in your NCERT Exemplar book. Starting with the first question. In the first question it is asked, all the eukaryotic organisms belong to. First option, Monera. Monera cannot be the correct one because these are the prokaryotic organisms. Fine. Protista, yes, because they include eukaryotic and unicellular. All the eukaryotic unicellular organisms are placed in Protista, in the kingdom Protista. Fungi includes both unicellular and multicellular, so again this cannot be our answer. Bacteria are placed in Monera. They are also prokaryotic. So again these two also cannot be the answer. So here the correct option is Protista. Okay. Moving on to the next question. The five kingdom classification system was proposed by. So five kingdom classification system was given by R.H. Whittaker, and the year in which he gave this five kingdom classification system was 1969. Okay, and what were the five kingdoms? Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Based on what criteria he classified? So those criteria were cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction, and phylogenetic relationship. Okay. Now moving on to the next option. Here it is given about Linnaeus. Linnaeus gave two kingdom classification system which was based on gross morphology, and he just divided organisms as Plantae and Animalia. And though it was easy, but all type of organisms cannot be put into that. So later on the need for five kingdom classification was has arisen. Okay, the next option is Roxburgh. A. Roxburgh is there's no one as such with A. Roxburgh. There's someone called as William Roxburgh. Dr. William Roxburgh, who was a surgeon and was a botanist as well. He is also called as a founding father of Indian botany because he was doing a lot of botanical research based on economic value of various plants and all in India. So he is called as a founding father of Indian botany. Name of the person is William Roxburgh. And Virchow along with this name you will study later on. The person's name is Rudolf Virchow. Okay, it is Rudolf, Rudolf. Rudolf Virchow, along with two more scientists, he gave cell theory. So, anyways, here the correct answer is our option A. Moving on to the next question. In this question, it is asked that organisms that are living in salty areas are called. So, here the first option is methanogens. So what are methanogens? Methanogens are those organisms that are those microorganisms that produces methane in hypoxic condition, and they are mainly prokaryotic, and they are archaebacteria, and they are found mainly in the marshy areas, also in the guts of ruminants like cows and buffaloes. Okay, and they are the one responsible for producing methane gas or biogas from dungs of cows and buffaloes. Okay, so here this cannot be the answer, so this one is wrong. Another one, halophiles. Halophiles, yes, this is correct, because these halophiles are the one that are salt loving. Okay, so halo, the word halo means salt and philes means loving, so they are all salt loving organisms. Fine, so halophiles is the correct answer. Organisms that live in salty areas are halophiles. Now the next word is heliophytes. Now what are these heliophytes? These are the plants that grow in direct sunlight. Okay, so we can call them as a sun loving plants, so they are called as heliophytes. Okay, similarly there is a word called sciophytes. Okay, like heliophytes, there is another group of organism means plants, we call them as sciophytes, Phytes. Okay, so again now these are those plants that are shade loving. Fine, so heliophytes are those plants that grow in direct sunlight, whereas the sciophytes prefer to be in shade. Okay, and the next option, thermoacidophiles. So what are these thermoacidophiles? They are those archaebacteria that prefer to survive or are found in hot spring condition. Okay, so again archaebacteria that can live in very extreme type of conditions. Okay, you may also uh, know about xerophytes. Okay, now what are these xerophytes? When we say xerophytes means they are those plants that are living in desert area. Okay, and you will study later on something about camp physiology. Okay, if you know, camp physiology is seen in these desert plants. They have reduced leaves and thick waxy cuticle, and the stomatas are in their pits. Okay, and there is one more word like it heliophytes. There is something called as halophytes. Okay, xerophytes are there, halophytes are also there. Now the word halo, as I said, like in case of halophiles, is related to salt, right? So here also again the word halo stands for salt and phytes is for plants. Okay, so plants that can grow in high salty condition or high salinity. Okay, and we found them usually in the marshlands, so they are called as halophytes. Fine. Whereas halophiles are those microorganisms that are living in salty areas, and halophytes will be those plants that live in marshy or high salinity or high salty areas. Okay, usually they are found in marshlands. Fine. Moving on to the next question, it is asked naked cytoplasm, multinucleated, and saprophytes. Phytic. These are the characteristics of Monera or Protista or fungi or slime mold. Here the answer will be slime molds. Okay, actually these slime molds were earlier placed in fungi, but later on, after knowing that they are multinucleated and they have naked cytoplasm, they were put under the group of they were put placed in the kingdom Protista. Okay, based on their characteristics, they were placed in kingdom of Protista. Okay, so this is what you should know. So they are play here answer will be slime molds. Okay, moving on to the next one, an association between roots of higher plants and fungi is called. So here it is asked the association between roots of higher plants and fungi. Okay, so let us see the first option, lichen. What are lichens? Lichens are no association between fungi with algae. Okay, when the fungi is forming or is growing along with algae, they are forming symbiotic relationship between the fungi and algae. We call it as lichen. Fern is a pteridophyte. Okay, let us see the other two options. Okay, next one is mycorrhiza. Okay, mycorrhiza, yes, it is the association between the fungi. Okay, fungi with the roots of higher plant. Okay, so lichens, as you saw, lichens is the association between fungi with the algae, whereas mycorrhizae is the association between fungi with roots of higher plants. So here this will be the correct answer. BGA stands for blue green algae. Okay, so it cannot be means no, algae is no. Fine. Now, and mycorrhiza and lichens, they both are symbionts. Fine, because there is a symbiotic relationship which has been formed. Moving on to the next question, it is asked a dikaryon is formed when? It is formed when meiosis is arrested, the two haploid cells do not fuse immediately, cytoplasm does not fuse, or none of the above. Here the correct answer will be option B. Okay, so what happens in this? The two haploid cells, they do not fuse immediately. Okay, this thing is seen in dikaryon, they are seen in case of fungi when they are reproducing sexually. Okay, like in Ascomycetes and in Basidiomycetes, there is an intervening dikaryotic stage of N plus N. Okay, where the two nuclei with the nucleus, they do not fuse immediately. Okay, so here there are two nuclei present per cell, so we call that as a dikaryotic stage. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Question number 7, contagium vivum fluidum. Okay, contagium vivum fluidum, it means infectious living fluid. Okay, here the word contagium means infectious, vivum means living, and fluidum is the fluid. So infectious living fluid is called as contagium vivum fluidum, and this term was proposed by whom? This term was proposed by Bezzernek, by Bezzernek. MW Bezzernek was a person. What happened actually? Initially, it was the person called Ivanovsky. Ivanovsky, which is given in the first option, DJ Ivanovsky. What he found? He found that there is there is an organism which is much smaller than bacteria and is causing tobacco, mosaic disease in tobacco. Okay, so mosaic disease which happens in tobacco is caused um, by an by an organism which is much smaller than bacteria. He was not aware what it was. Okay, later on it was Bezenek. What he did, he put that extract of the infected tobacco into other plants, and he saw that disease is getting transferred. Fine, that other plants are also suffering from the same mosaic diseases. Fine, so when he put that extract, he found that healthy plants are also getting infected. So he called that fluid, okay, that extract was called as contagium vivum fluidum. Fine, okay. So, um, and you should know the year in which Ivanovsky did this experiment in the year 1892, when he got to know that there is something which is causing mosaic disease and it is much smaller uh, than bacteria. Fine, and here I would also like to share with you that the term virus, okay, the term virus, this term was given by Pasteur. It means venom or poisonous fluid. Okay, now the next person name here is Stanley. So Stanley, W.M. Stanley, W.M. Okay, his full name is W.M. Stanley. He was the one who in 1935 no, got to know that viruses could be crystallized and they consist largely of proteins. Okay, and you should know that viruses, they are inert outside, they are inert outside any host cell. They need a host cell to be alive or start with their biochemical machinery. Okay, they are obligate parasites. Okay, just remember, they are, we can call them as obligate parasites. Okay, moving on to, okay, one more person's name is given here, that is Robert Hooke. Now who is Robert Hooke? Robert Hooke was the one who saw and gave the term cell to the cork cell when he observed in the year 1665, though the cork cells were the non-living one. Okay, living cells like in human cells and the bacterial cells for the first time was observed by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, the person who observed human cells or the living cells and bacterial cells was Anton van Leeuwenhoek, whereas Robert Hooke, yes, he was the one who discovered cell. He gave the term cell, but it was the dead cell which he discovered in the cork cell in year 1665. Now moving on to the next question, mycobiont and phycobiont, they are found in, okay, mycobiont, or here it should, this question is should be like this. Here you should include association. Okay, association, it is association between mycobiont and phycobiont are found in, so this type of association where it is found. So you have to understand what is mycobiont. Mycobiont is the term we use for fungal. Okay, and phycobiont is for algae. So this is for fungi, whereas this one is for algae. So it is basically asked that what is that association called which is found between algae and the fungi. Okay, so again there is a symbiotic relationship between the two, and that association is called as lichens. Fine. Moving on to the next one, rest all you know, I already told. Mycorrhizae, what are the association between fungi with the roots of the higher plants? Roots cannot be the answer, and BGA is for blue green algae. Okay, so anyways, here the answer, correct answer is option C. Moving to the next question, difference between virus and virions. So what is the difference between virus and virions? First option, it is given absence of protein coat in viroid but present in virus. Second option, presence of low molecular weight RNA in virus but absent in viroid. Both A and B and none of the above. So here the correct answer is option A, that there is an absence of protein coat in viroids. So viroids are much smaller than virus. They don't have the protein coat, okay, like the nucleoprotein which is present in virus but it is absent in viroid. So protein coat is absent in virus. Viroid, okay, in viroid protein coat is absent but it is present in virus. So that is a major difference, and because of that the viroid has low molecular weight. In the second option, why it is wrong, this is wrong because they are saying presence of low molecular weight RNA in virus. So it is not the virus which has a low, means it is the viroid which has a lower molecular weight. Okay, moving moving on to the next question. With respect to fungal sexual cycle, choose the correct sequence of events. So in when the fungus, okay, when fungi is reproducing sexually, it can reproduce asexually also. Okay, so if it is reproducing by sexual mode of reproduction, which takes place by oospores, ascospores and basidiospores, the first stage or first thing that happens is the plasmogamy, followed by karyogamy, and then the meiosis take place. Plasmogamy means what? Plasmogamy is fusion of protoplasm, karyogamy is fusion of two nuclei, and meiosis happens in zygote, which is formed to form the haploid spores. Okay, if the fungi is reproducing asexually, so there what will happen? It will be by spores, and those spores are called as conidia or sporangiospores or zoospores. Fine. Moving on to the next question. Viruses are non-cellular but replicate themselves once they infect the host cell. To which of the following kingdom do viruses belong to? So because they are non-cellular and they have limited biochemical machinery, right? And because we say that they are on the borderline between the living and non-living, so they are not placed in any of the kingdom. So here the correct answer would be this one, last option D. Viruses do not belong to any of the five kingdom classification system, okay, given by Whittaker. Moving on to the next question, and that's the last one in MCQ. Okay, question number 12. Members of Phycomycetes. Members of Phycomycetes, where are they found? So members of Phycomycetes, you will see them in aquatic habitat. Yes, obviously they are also on decaying wood, in also on moist and damp places. Okay, so and what about, are they acting as an obligate parasite? Yes, they can be there as an obligate parasites in plant. So here correct answer is option D. Okay, so with this we are done with all the MCQs. Me In the next video I would like to discuss some of the important short answer type questions with you all. Thank you.